What's up, everybody? Welcome again to West Coast Pop. It's your boy, the final boss, Knock, joined by Le Champion, Eric. We got part 2 of the Black Champions video for you guys. Thanks for all the views and subscribes in the last one. We really appreciate it. I think a lot of these guys need some spotlight shine on them because they did a hell of a work and, tough times for sure in the beginning. But here's part 2. We got the women for you guys. Eric, you want to let them know what you got to say real quick?
I'm real hyped to go down this list. Black women in professional wrestling don't get enough shine as it is, so it's a good thing. Good to look back on them real quick.
Exactly. All right, so let's get right into it. First one on the list, we have Ethel Johnson debuting at the age of 16. She broke down so many barriers. She was the first Black woman to wrestle. Also, she was one of the first people to have a drop kick in her moveset. She was very athletic. She was dubbed the biggest thing in women's wrestling since women's wrestling started. Hell of a person, man. So shout out to her. She never got a world title or recognized world title, but what she did to pave the way was very important.
That is really cool. I wouldn't mind seeing. Someone needs to tell this story out loud then, because I've never heard of her. But when you think about what her life must have been like at that point to find her way to pro wrestling, that is pretty cool. Exactly. I'm definitely gonna do my homework on her.
Exactly. Her and actually 2 of her sisters started wrestling too, and her final match was against her sister. So that's a hell of a way to come through. She wrestled really cool in some places like the NWA territories. She was a Stu Hart favorite, big time wrestling before it got changed to Stampede Wrestling, and Capital Wrestling before it became WWE under Jess McMahon, Vince's grandfather.
That is pretty cool. And I like you said, I give her props for the drop kick. It's always great when you get to be one of the first people to really bring a different style to the ring.
Exactly. Pure athleticism. That's Ethel Johnson. Next on the list, we got Sandy Parker. Another one back in the day. She trained under Fabulous Moolah, who gave her a rough time, but she was not having any of it. She was also openly gay. So you know Fab Moolah was on her case. She didn't get her shine until she went over to Japan and became the first Black woman to hold the WWWA championship over there in All Japan Pro Wrestling. Hell of a pioneer. She was just whooping women left and right. They had no answers for her. When she was in America, I'll touch on it again. A lot of issues with Moolah and the people over there just messing with her, not booking her on shows because of how she was and trying to get her to, you know how Moolah was, dating other men and whatnot, even though she was openly gay. So she went through a lot.
Yeah, anyone who knows the story of Pat Patterson, he kind of had to hide and play smart that he was gay, and he was a white man in professional wrestling. So give Sandy Parker her due. It could not have been easy to be a gay Black woman in professional wrestling. And of course, Fabulous Moolah being absolute human garbage did not help her in any way, shape, or form. So
not at all.
Strong woman, very strong woman.
Very strong woman. And that's why the first honorable mention on this list will be Brandi Rhodes, who's now an EVP for a major promotion in All Elite Wrestling. I don't think she gets enough credit. She does put in the work. You don't break your collarbone taking it easy, like she put it. She is a great valet. She's doing a lot of great work with people who have special needs, coming to different shows. So give Brandi her credit, man. And this shows how far people have come for have Sandy Parker, who had to deal with a lot of booking issues, hiding her talent, to have someone in a major spot right now in a major promotion.
Yeah, she deserves respect all day. She left I'm not gonna say cushy because I don't know how hard it was, but she left a secure job with WWE to follow her husband out there on the indies. She's earned her place on the road, and there's another accolade she also has, but she's the first Black woman to be a executive in a professional wrestling promotion. So you have
Chief
to give her
Brand
props.
Officer or Chief Brandi Officer.
Exactly. She's earned everything that she's got in life, and congratulations on her first child coming soon.
Yeah, congratulations. Shout out to Brandi, little Brand, and that bionic spear of hers. Next up on the list is my favorite woman of all time. She's one of my favorite wrestlers, period. The most dominant, vicious, awesome cog, amazing cog, Karma, if you want to. She's the greatest. 2-time TNA Knockouts champion, and also another former WWA champion in All Pro Wrestling. She won the TNA Knockouts tag titles as well, entered the Royal Rumble. She is greatness personified. If you want to see some matches with her, watch all the Gail Kim matches. These are all-time greats in professional wrestling history.
Yeah, you gotta put respect on her name. She should go down in history as one of the greats, like you said. I've never watched anyone, including a male wrestler in WWE, that I've thought, wow, I wish I could have seen more of from such a small snippet. Like, her small time as Karma was great, and that was nowhere near what she can do, like at max level.
Nowhere near at all. She dominated. If you put her in an intergender match, she's the dominant one. The guy looks like he shouldn't be able to win. It's just that good. And a person her size to attempt a 450 splash, it makes no sense. She's deceptively athletic and just a powerhouse, man. She has a nice martial arts style to her, just knocking people out left and right. I love watching Awesome Kong. You can check her out in Glow as well. Hopefully she comes back to AEW soon, but she's my all-time favorite.
Yeah, she needs to come back. She's great, and I'll even add a little fuel to the fire. I think she's the best professional wrestling actor, including Batista, John Cena, The Rock.
Ooh.
She is my favorite.
Man. Yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments, man. That's a tough one. I will also give her credit for being Pro Wrestling Illustrated #1 in 2008 on the top 50 females. She's been in the top 20 since 2015, man. Awesome wrestling. Next up on the list, Feel the Glow. It's Naomi, the 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. And if you want to count it, I will count it in her case, the WrestleMania Royal Rumble winner or WrestleMania Battle Royal winner. Naomi is one of the most athletic people. She also won the FCW championship. I think she was the first one ever. Shout out to her. She is a credit.
Had a lot of competition in that class. And then that glow belt is just an example of how creative she is. She doesn't have to be that creative in this wrestling world, but she could legit be a booker or an agent. Like, she cares about what she does in the ring, and that's a lot more than I think most people expected from what her first gimmick was just a cheerleader. That's pretty
exactly. Cool. She came a long way, man. And when she tapped out Bliss at Mania in her hometown, man, that face she had said it all, man. She was beating people up, man. I love it. Give her more credit. And then, of course, the Rumble stuff. She herself has become now a mainstay of the Royal Rumble, a spectacle, and I can't wait to see what she does next in her now yearly attempt to defy gravity and stay in the Rumble. Let us know in the comments below if you think she should join the bloodline with Jay. And we know when her husband Jimmy comes back, he's joining too. So let us know. Next up on the list, we have the beast of women's of wrestling. Wow, superheroes. She is the now current champion there. Me and Eric got to see her live, man. She truly is a beast. I hope she gets more shine in these upcoming years because she's a powerhouse, no doubt.
She's absolutely amazing. I hate it when people cheer for Kevin Owens or for a heel, just because I miss that old school dynamic. But when we watch the Beast in person and she is the heel, I can't help but cheer for her. She is amazing, over the top, athletic. I can't wait for her to break out of WoW and go to bigger promotions, because she's going to be a leader. She's going to take over.
Yeah, she's something special, man. Definitely check her out on WoW. I think it comes on Access TV, so give that a look. Next up on the list, we have the Boba Fett, DDTing, Mandalorian slaying, boss time all the time. Fashion is her passion. Talk to me nice and say it twice. 2 belts, Banks, Sasha Banks. When it's all said and done, she might end up becoming one of my favorites. She is perfection. On a run right now in Hollywood as a SmackDown Women's Champ, finally be able to defend the belt. Looking like she's going to go into WrestleMania against Bianca. She's a 5-time Raw Women's Champion, 2-time Tag Team Champion. Legit boss. Really is amazing.
Yeah, she's killing it. She and Bayley carried 2020, the hardest year to probably carry in wrestling history because of the quarantine. And along with that, she's highly marketable, as you said. She's on Mandalorian. She's on Sports Center. She's doing everything. She's what WWE wishes they could have if Becky was still here.
Exactly. Shout out to Sasha Banks, man, that frog splash. Also, part of her accolade, she was a former NXT champion, a Chaotic Wrestling Women's Champion, RWC No Limits Champion, and since 2015, she's been ranked in the top 5 3 times. Hopefully this coming year she'll be #1. But Sasha Banks is the truth.
Oh, definitely.
Next up on the list, we have the native beast, Nyla Rose. What a theme song. If you see the beast, you better run. AEW's second ever women's champion defeating Rio in a instant classic. This was their second of 2 matchups, and somehow, some way, they made the second one even better than the first. As AEW Women's Champion, Nyla Rose headlined Revolution, walked in as champ, and walked out as champ in dominant fashion. She is the most dominant wrestler in the AEW Women's division and definitely deserves a ton of respect. She is also the first ever transgender woman to be signed to a major promotion. You can't stop the beast. I can't wait to see more from her and Vicky Guerrero as her manager. This woman has straight up bulldozed a ton of barriers and is a legend in the making. Last year in 2020, Nyla Rose is ranked as high as she's ever been, as number 16 on the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 50 Female Wrestlers of the Year. So again, shout out to the Terminator, the biggest threat in the women's division.
Another one of Japan's most dominant women. If Shinsuke is the king of strong style, she's the queen of strong style and then some. She would beat the brakes off of women. It is insane how good Aja Kong is. Put some respect on her name. She's a former WWA Women's Champion in All Japan Pro Wrestling, as well as a former tag team champion with Awesome Kong. These two have a storied history. Definitely want to check it out in Japan. She's no joke, man. She will legit beat you up.
Yeah, she's got a killer back fist. Her strikes are deadly.
Yes.
Her slams are amazing. It's you're gonna earn if you get to pin her, you're gonna fight to get that pin. And if you lose, you're gonna go home with some bruises. So respect to her. And depending on when you're watching this video, I believe she is my pick for this. She's one of my picks for the tournament. So yes. I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, she's the truth, man. Some other accolades she has is the AJW Championship. She also was a tag team champion with Naboko Kimura. She's an All-Pacific champion, as well as Tag League Best 1992. She's in the AJW Hall of Fame 98. She really is the queen. It's insane stuff. She has 3 5-star matches on her resume, as well as the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame. She did wrestle in WWE for a short period, some highlighted matches, so check her out. She's one of the truth.
Yeah, anyone that gets a 5-star match deserves some respect, because I know Kenny Omega makes it look easy, but those 5-star matches are pretty hard.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. Next up on the list, we have Foxy Alicia Fox. Not too long in the WWE, she was always really energetic, had a lot of charisma going for her. Since 2010, she was in the top 50 6 times in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated. She's OVW Women's Champion, FCW Women's Champion, and also a WWE Divas Champion. She's the first person to win a title during Rumble this past year, winning 24/7 Championship. So shout out to her. I think she's one of the best scissor kicks in the game. It's hard to follow up that up after, Booker T and R-Truth, but definitely deserves some credit.
Oh, yeah. I'll give her props because unless it was like 2016, she was the longest tenured female wrestler on the roster, and that's in a company at the time that was kind of just using women for looks more than talent. That's not easy. Yeah, I'll give it to her. She does whatever role is given to her. She was Edge's therapist and mistress at first,
yeah,
and then kind of went with the psycho gimmick, and she makes it work. She does what she's asked of.
She does, and they give her a whole lot of shit sometimes. Yeah, that is a former champion here. And then shout out to her sister, who also was an FCW champion. She'll get an honorary mention. Next up on the list, the one who will bitch slap you, Jazz. Very, very strong. She is a former heavy on wrestling women's champ, NWA women's champion, and WWE women's champion twice. She beat Trish Stratus and Lita at WrestleMania. And in 2012, she was ranked number 13 on the top 50 Pro Wrestling Illustrated women's list. This is Jazz.
I mean, when you think of black female wrestlers, it's Jacqueline, Jazz. Those are the first two that come to my mind. So
yeah,
she's earned that spot, and anytime she's around, it's a treat. She's no joke. She's great.
Definitely a Hall of Fame wrestling career, and she's still going strong to this day in TNA Impact.
Next up on the list, we have Jackie Moore, who's wrestled in WCW, WWE, and TNA Impact Wrestling. Jacqueline was another powerhouse and broke down a lot of barriers. She's the former WWE Women's Champion and a 2 times, and a WWE Cruiserweight Champion 1 time. She's in the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2016. Shout out to her, man. USWA Women's Heavyweight Champion 14 times. That is unheard of. She's a Taekwondo 3rd degree black belt. Give some respect to Jack.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's Jacqueline and Jazz when you think of WWE's black female wrestlers. And I give her props because in WWE, mixed gender matches, one-on-one, they're not usually, I don't want to say entertaining, they're not usually taken seriously. But her and Chavo, I think, might have been the closest you'll get to a real mixed match taken seriously. Nowadays, it's the female versus a weaker guy, but Chavo was not weak, and he treated Jacqueline with the respect she deserves.
Yes, and that DDT was ridiculous that she used to do.
Yeah, definitely. Nice full over DDT.
Jackie Moore was definitely the truth, and she had a very nice run in the early days of TNA as well.
Next up on the list, we have Aja Smith, or formerly known as Aja Pereira. She's a former Shine Nova champion, Shine Tag Team champion with Big Swole. But most importantly, she is the first black all-female wrestling referee in WWE, breaking down more barriers there. She's killing it, man. Great to see that a former wrestler is finding her way in WWE and breaking barriers. So shout out to Aja Smith.
Yeah, congratulations to her. That's really cool. It's nice to know that she got some shine on the indies. She got to live the dream
Literally.
for a while, and exactly, and now she's doing her thing in WWE, getting that nice paycheck that she deserves, and she's a damn good referee. I'll give her props for that.
She really is, man. And it goes to show you, man, when you have that crossover, being a former wrestler, she knows what it is, what it takes to do it. So I hope she goes far with this refereeing, man. And maybe even gets back in the ring if she wanted to. Other accolades she includes, she was a Lucha Libre Femino tournament winner 2015, Girl Fighting Championship 1 time. So yeah, Aja Smith is the real deal.
I mean, just from the clips that you're showing me, she has more than the fundamentals that if she decides to give Triple H a call and says put me in the ring, I would check out that match. She can go.
Next up on the list, Swole. Big Swole Ariel Monroe. Dirty Dancing Ripcord Discus Forearm is her finisher, and she don't play no games. She's a former Rise Phoenix champion 1 time. And like I said before, she was a Shine Tag Team champion with Aja Pereira. She knows what she's doing, man. She's very smooth, and the improvements I've seen from seeing her in the Mae Young Classic to now in AEW, having pay-per-view matches, I'm loving what I'm seeing, and she's representing very well.
She's doing absolutely great. I've said before on the podcast that if it were me, I would book her and Britt Baker to be the John Cena and Edge of the women's division. So at some point, she's going to hold the title. She's going to be in the main event, or at least in the big spotlight. WWE made a mistake letting her go. She is going to be a very big part of the women's division for AEW.
Yes, she will. Next up on the list, we have the Blazing Baddie, the HBIC, Mia Yim. Shout out to Yimless. The theme of this video pretty much is women overcoming so much adversity and shining on through, and that is personified in Mia Yim. Look at those goddamn arms of hers. My goodness.
Yeah.
But she has battled through so much. I mean, she's talked about it before with the domestic stuff she had to deal with, and injury after injury. Her wrestling style has changed so much. I've watched her hit like spiral taps back in the day, now wrestling a more physical ground and pound style. She still shines, she still knows what she's doing, and she's grown so much. I really hope we can see the real Mia Yim shine on Raw. But again, the highest she ranked in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated was number 6 in 2016. She's been in the top 20 at least 5 times. She's a former Shine Wrestling champion, Shine Tag Team champion 1 time with Leva Bates, and she is a TNA Women's Knockout champion 1 time. Some of her great matches in there against Sienna. They have a storied rivalry, or Allison Kay, better known as. Another rival she had with was Rosemary. Great cage match, great hardcore fighting. So shout out to Mia Yim.
Yeah, she's definitely got strong character, strong fortitude to go through all that in her life. Any athlete can tell you coming back from an injury is not easy, but you look at her today, and I know we hate what Retribution was originally, but you have to give her respect. She took this gimmick and she's not half-assing it. Even as we speak, she is powering through. She's trying to make it work. So she's not a complainer. She's not a whiner. She does what she needs to do, and she just powers through. You have to respect that.
Yeah, I have so much respect for Mia Yim. Some other finishing moves she had was the Soul Food, a tribute to Gail Kim, who's a big influence on her. They have another story rivaling TNA. Gail Kim really took a mentorship on her. The package pile driver she delivers to excellence. Sky Yim was a diving corkscrew moonsault she did early on before some of the injuries, and protect your neck. Shout out to Mia Yim. Yimitless all the way.
And with any luck, if Xavier Woods gets his way, we'll get him versus Mia Yim on Raw someday.
Peace. She's another one besides Candice LeRae and all these people. She's great at intergender matches.
Yeah. The way her style definitely seems like it would work out in an intergender match.
Yeah. As middle, he took a top rope Canadian destroyer from her.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Next one on the list, we have Ember Moon. Oh man, one of the best finishers in the game right now. I love the Eclipse. Ember Moon is a former Absolute Intense Wrestling Women's Champion, Anarchy Championship Wrestling Joshi Champion 3 times, the Queen of Queens Tournament 2012, Pro Wrestling Alliance Champion 1 time, and since 2012 she's been in the top 20. Is that 7 times? She deserves so much. And of course, the crowning achievement is the NXT Women's Champion as of now, but hopefully she gets more title runs going forward.
Hopefully. I don't necessarily understand why WWE never gave her the ball and ran with it, because she could carry a promotion, let alone a brand. Like, she give her the Raw or the SmackDown Women's title, she could honestly do it. But she's super talented, like you said, one of the best finishers today. Absolutely amazing. Works on anybody, can be hit out of nowhere, and she's trained her ass off. And I mean, Booker usually when he promotes someone, that person is a bona fide star, and he had nothing but positive things to say about Ember Moon.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely a credit to her, man. She's amazing, and I'm glad she's kind of coming more into her own with her character. I was surprised she didn't win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with Shotzi, but definitely more victories coming in her future.
Definitely.
And hopefully another run at the NXT Women's Championship. I can definitely see her taking on Io at the next takeover.
And the last one on the list, the last honorary mention. This isn't a prediction. This is a spoiler. The EST will put EST in WrestleMania. The first ever black woman to win a Royal Rumble, Bianca Belair. If you want to look at a superstar, this is it. She is all-time great, and I know when it's all said and done, she's going to the Hall of Fame. She's one of the greatest. She's the full package. She's the real deal. This is Bianca Belair.
That cape, if you guys can see it, is absolutely correct. Black history in the making. You're watching it happen. This is someone who kids can look up to. You gravitate towards her. She's earned everything she's got through hard work, dedication, and there's no telling where her ceiling is. I honestly don't know. She's nowhere near her peak. She is not there. So we've only seen the beginning from her. My biggest fear was that because she never got the championship at NXT, she wouldn't know how to handle being a champion, but she's ready. She's showing me that she is absolutely ready to win it at Mania. So I'm gonna be hyped for her. I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, she's about to have one of the greatest matches of all time in WrestleMania, in the spotlight against Sasha Banks. So yes, she has not won a major world title yet, but I'm putting her on this list anyways. The Royal Rumble is a hell of an event to win. That's a hell of an achievement, and I'm predicting she takes on the belt at this year's Mania.
Completely agree.
Well, that's all the people we have for part 2. We will have part 3 coming out soon. So I know a lot of you guys have been saying, "Oh, about this guy? What about this guy?" Trust me, we know. We do our research, man. We got this. Just trust us. Keep liking the videos. If you enjoy it, we'll keep bringing them out for you guys. This is Knock. Eric, any last words?
Just be kind to each other. Do your research and go easy on those damn comments.
Yeah, we got y'all, man. We know what we're doing. Trust us. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.